Joe Rogan only sees one fighter who has more power than Alex Pereira. On the Joe Rogan Experience, he said Alex Pereira is the scariest kickboxer that's ever competed in the sport. The one guy above all that if he hits you once, you're dead. Out of all the guys I've ever seen fight, I don't think anybody I can say that more than that guy, including in kickboxing, in everything. He has more power than anybody I've ever seen, except Francis Ngannou. But Francis Ngannou is 265 pounds. But weight class to weight class, Francis can put anybody out too. But he's not at the same skill level as Poatan. The dude's terrifying, absolutely terrifying. That power is from God. He's got a weird gift that's just different from anyone. After defeating Diego Lopez to reclaim the UFC featherweight title, Alexander Volkanovski said he'd like to defend the belt against Movsar Evloev next. Evloev made an appearance on the Overdogs podcast this week and broke down his game plan for how he intends to beat Volk.
I think if I fight him, I'll just push him to the wall. So don't let him run from me. Yeah, so don't let him move. Yeah. And then he have to like do exchanging with me. So then he will tire, or I'll break him. Because I think I know that I have bigger power, better wrestling, and I can control this guy 5 rounds or finish on the ground.
How much are you working on your striking right now?
For last fight with the Aljo, I was focused almost for 100% for striking, because you see only talking about I have no finish, I have like just wrestling style. So I was trying to show them that I have good striking also. But on this fight, I cannot show it because my opponent just take me down and trying to like do some jiu-jitsu with me. That's why, you know, it's not easy to show your striking when you just rolling on the floor, right?
Dominick Cruz gives his thoughts on who Alexander Volkanovski should fight next.
Love what Volkanovski's been doing in the division to come back and win the way that he did. That was a very tough fight and he toughed it out. And then to say right away that he's ready to come back and fight within 2 months. He just wants to stay busy and make that money. If that's the case, I mean, he already beat Max, he beat Lopez, and he beat Rodriguez. So he could have a rematch with Rodriguez. I mean, I'm up for that because Rodriguez looked amazing in his last fight too. But it was a shutout in that fight, so I think I'd like to see him most fight Movsar, who's in the top 5, the only guy in the top 5 that Volkanovski hasn't beaten, or even Lerone Murphy if he wants to have a quick turnaround, because Murphy just fought, Volkanovski's talking about wanting to fight right away. Murphy's undefeated. Movsar has looked amazing. So those are the 2 fights that stand out most to me that I think could challenge Volkanovski and make it an exciting battle at the same time. Got to tip your hat to Volkanovski with the performance going all 5 rounds and just toughing it out, being an awesome human while an awesome champion at the same time.
Joaquin Buckley appeared on Neon's stream yesterday, and the two had a little sparring session.
Stop with your stances, bro. You gotta find a home. Find a home, bro. No, man, keep your hand up. There you go. Boom, boom. Oh!
He's cornering me, bro.
Run. Come on, hands up. Use the jab. Keep your eye on the target. Use the jab. Come on.
Damn, I ain't even move.
Do that. 2 jabs.
Punch me in his face. I ain't even move. What's this? That's crazy.
Step to your left.
Chill out, Thanos. Right here. Let it go.
Now jab.
Boom. That was all chest. That was clean. That's it. Now, taking off the gloves.
Aaron Pico gives his thoughts on the potential fight between Islam Makhachev and Ilia Topuria. Pico thinks that Islam will be too much for Ilia.
That's what a champion essentially is supposed to look like. Make the calls, go out there, deliver on the calls, then all of a sudden vacates the title. I mean, how do you feel? Because you said earlier, like, you were looking at him and going, there's holes here.
I think it's good for the sport, to be honest with you. I mean, him and Islam, I mean, people really want to see that. Everybody has their own style, and it seems like his style is just doing what he did. Honestly, I believe Islam is just a little too much for him, but I'm also a fan, you know, so I would love to see that.
Belal Muhammad is set to defend his welterweight title against Jack Della Maddalena at UFC 315. Ahead of the fight, Belal says he'd rather have doubters than fans. Speaking to MMA Junkie, Belal said, "I'm like, bro, go back. Get away from me. I don't want the fans. I want the doubters. I want the people to tell me I'm going to lose because it just makes me work that much harder. But that's why I have the circle around me, the teammates around me that keep me level-headed. There's no easy fight in this game. There is no easy win, as people will say it or the fans will say it. In my head, I'm going against the best striker in the world. In my head, I'm going against Canelo Alvarez. So I've got to train like I'm going against those guys so I don't look past him and I don't take my foot off the gas. I'm still having that underdog mentality. For me, it's not defending the belt. It's still fighting for the belt again. It's still remembering that it took me this long to get my title shot. It took me this long to get noticed by anybody. I'm not going to let it go. He's not going to take it from me." Belal also had words for Kamaru Usman. He compares Usman to Conor McGregor. He continued, "He's had over 2 years off. He's a podcaster now. He just likes to talk. I think he's kind of like McGregor, where he misses it. He wants to stay relevant, so whenever there's a big name or a big fight coming up, he'll say something and he'll give his thoughts. Or he'll post a picture with Stylebender in the gym just to get, oh, maybe Kamaru is training for something. Is he doing something?" At the end of the day, there are a lot hungrier guys who really want it, and there's guys that are there right now that have deserved it and earned it. Israel Adesanya posted some additional footage of him and Kamaru Usman sparring. Renato Moicano goes through the UFC lightweight rankings and gives his thoughts on who he thinks Paddy Pimblett could realistically beat. Following Paddy's dominant TKO win over Michael Chandler, Renato shared his honest opinions on Paddy's chances against some of the top guys in the division.
Paddy Pimblett or Arman Tsarukyan?
I don't think he beats Tsarukyan.
Paddy Pimblett or Charles Oliveira?
I don't think he beats Charles Oliveira.
Paddy Pimblett or Justin Gaethje?
I don't think he beats Justin Gaethje.
Paddy Pimblett or Max Holloway?
I don't think he beats Max Holloway.
Paddy Pimblett, Dustin Poirier?
I don't think he beats Dustin Poirier.
Paddy Pimblett, Dan Hooker?
I don't know.
You gotta pick.
I don't know. I'll go with Dan Hooker.
Okay. Paddy Pimblett or Gamrot?
Gamrot.
Paddy Pimblett.
Because he's my friend.
Paddy Pimblett or Beneil Dariush?
Paddy Pimblett.
Paddy Pimblett or Benoit Saint-Denis?
I think Paddy Pimblett.
Paddy Pimblett or Joe Alvarez?
That's a tough one too. You know, if he cannot wrestle and take that motherfucker down, he's getting beat.
Yeah.
Khamzat Chimaev posted some footage of him hitting pads. Merab Dvalishvili is currently preparing to defend his bantamweight title for a second time in a rematch against Sean O'Malley. Here is some recent footage of Merab sparring. Tom Aspinall had a message for Jon Jones. He posted this footage to his Instagram. He wrote, "Blink and you're in danger," with a duck emoji. Jon Anik reveals while commentating the fight between Alexander Volkanovski and Diego Lopez. In the third round, he stated that Volk was up 3-0. Anik says that after he said that, UFC matchmakers Sean Shelby and Mick Maynard were looking at him like he should lose his job. In an interview with MMAfighting.com, Anik said, "So I trotted out there on the broadcast. Close to the end of the third round, I said Diego Lopez might want to do something here. He's in danger of being down 3-0. Now, I don't know that Sean Shelby's looking at me sideways after I say that. I'm doing the broadcast. But then DC audibly, if memory serves, brought it to my attention. So then I looked down, and Maynard and Shelby are looking at me like I should lose my job. And not that I question myself, I know what I see. And I since have done my homework about round 4, and maybe I was wrong in some part to criticize Judge Sal D'Amato, even though sometimes I don't know what I'm watching relative to what I have learned. But yeah, I mean, I think at that point in time, Shelby wrongfully, I can say that respectfully, thought Diego Lopez might have been up 2-1. I think there's an argument for 50-45 Volkanovski based upon my rewatch and my sort of research in a retroactive way into the scoring. Here's the thing, if I could just say this in 20 seconds, the biggest punch of the fight was landed in round 4, and I would say respectfully, shame on Diego Lopez for not following up. But Volk did land twice as many strikes in round 4. I guess now I can understand why Sal would have scored that round for him. But I guess the way I'm saying, if you land the biggest strike of the fight and you come somewhat close to maybe putting the guy away, is that not your round? But yeah, I mean, I gave 1, 2, 3, and 5 to Volk. Israel Adesanya has been training with Sean O'Malley and Tim Welch this week. On the most recent episode of Tim's podcast, he reveals that Izzy mentioned he wants to rematch Sean Strickland for his next fight.
Yeah, another thing with Izzy, he was saying he's kind of enjoying his life. Before, he was just like taking all these back-to-back fights. If you look at some of the old pay-per-views, every other pay-per-view he was the headliner of. And he's taking some break, and it seems like he's just in a really good headspace.
That's good.
Good headspace, and it seemed like he was wanting that Strickland fight back.
Yeah. If they fought, what do you think would be the difference?
Izzy, I mean, they said, I mean, not excuses and stuff, but that was a very, his knee was f***ed up. He was just so burnt out. It was just a bad night where he didn't show up.
I mean, especially after that fight, you see Strickland. He's a great fighter, but he's not like Izzy. He's not like Izzy for sure. He had a good night. He had a bad night, in my opinion.
Yeah, he said GSP gave him some good advice and just said, like, don't just take these fights. Like, make sure you're hungry to take a fight, especially when you're at this level and you have enough money. Like, make sure you're hungry and you want to do it.
And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from Batcave OZ. It says, the chance of me tuning into a podcast to listen to Tyron Woodley is 0%. Fair enough. The second one says, Ian versus Protez is giving me Bryce versus Silva vibes in terms of the results. And the final one's from Sado's Games. It says, after the Shavkat fight, Ian earned back people's respect, just to flush it down the toilet by bringing out Protez's old fights and calling him a quitter. This guy needs some PR advisor. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.